So yeah, we'll see. On the first channel, we should be starting in about 10 minutes with a match of TMB versus .C or .B, TMB and .B should be on the main channel at /RTS League, and on RTS League 2 we are going to be having more Age of Empires CZ Clan versus LYF Lost Youth Federation. So in a few minutes I'm gonna have to switch to check that everything is going as it should be, as we are in the second map that is going to be not Anatolia, and I'm kinda happy about it, because of course it's kinda boring to see the same maps in a row, and it seems like that this is going to be home map right now of GDMs, and quite interesting gods in there. GDMs are going with double Kronos and Oranos, so triple AT. And against them is Zeus, Loki, and Oranos, so that's the same as we have seen on Anatolia. But this double Kronos and Oranos, that's going to be super aggressive from them. So we should be expecting some really unusual shenanigans, and let's see if they are going to be able to maybe even deconstruct some temples and deny some mythical units to their opponents. So far we are looking at pretty decent map, as for example Rizero is on the flank, if I see this correctly. Yeah, he will be facing GDM Pedrut, front gold for both of them, so basically nothing that anybody could be complaining about. And the pocket for DMs is going to be True Lock, which I think is going to be much better, because he has already shown in the last game that he's quite partial to heavy booming, and in the pocket position you of course are a bit better suited to that, but at the same time, with the aggressive gods that their opponents are having, I'll be fully expecting some brutal shenanigans, and some very fast help will be needed from the pocket. Unfortunately, to be completely honest, we haven't really seen that all that much from him in the previous games, so let's see if he plays better this time around. Looking at the last player from TM Burzum, who is on the flank on the right side, having gold not really all that forward, it's next to the tower, yeah, it's not bad. Definitely could have gone worse or anything, so quite alright. And the TC placement, pretty nice, right in the choke point, so definitely will be guarding the way into his base, and if he can capture it and keep it for himself, that will definitely help him in the game to come. Basically the same is right now for Zero on the left. This town center is absolutely the same position, well, absolutely, almost the same position as the town center on the right side, whereas the front for True Lock is, well, quite deep. It's a bit deeper into the middle of the map, but there is still quite a lot of nothingness in the middle, just a whole lot of relics. Let's check them. Pegasus Scout. Ooh, cheaper armory, nice. Nietzsche. Another one, better towers. That will definitely find use. House and Marrow also definitely find use. Theoretical, why not? And that's about it from what I see. Yeah, that's about it. That is about it. Well, the waters are kind of funny in here. Are they actually connected? Yes, they are, which means that if you build yourself some kind of dock in the middle, for example, for Platinum, or maybe even Pain, he could be quite annoying all the way across the map to the bottom. And then, yeah, well, maybe possibly should, especially on the trade route, because there is, of course, a natural choke point in the middle. And if they control the water in here, they will definitely be controlling the choke point and the trade. So that's something that EMs should be wary about and shouldn't underestimate at all. There is some new relic discovered by the piggy. For better Hoplite, Spearman, Ulfsag, Murmil, Hack Attack. Very nice. Very neat indeed. But GDM Pedro is already camped next to the temple. Yeah, well, you can kinda guess what's gonna happen. Are they already advancing that fast? No, they aren't. But the construction is definitely gonna come in. They're just going to be timing it about 4:15. That's the ideal time, once you are assuming that your opponent is advancing 4:30, which is basically the standard time. And even though Rezero is getting home, you can say goodbye to your Prometheus. It's just not gonna happen for you. Same seems to be similar going on the right side with X Platinum, who is already just basically camping around the Burzum, and Pain going for the Construct on the temple already on the right. And is he expecting him to up? Oh, that was too fast. That was too fast. Why would you do this? It's standard to actually advance at 4:30, and I don't see any kind of signs. Well, it's easy for me, of course, because I'm as an observer, but really, this was just a bit too soon, and this should be finished. It should be finished. Unless he's going to be waiting for the second restoration or other reconstruction in here at as well, but I kind of think it's just a bit of a mistake. 91. Oh. Oh, this is gonna be closer than I thought. Oh! And he actually made it. That is some kind of... Oh, that... What the hell? What have we just seen? That's the first time. The temple wasn't finished. He advanced. And then he finished the temple and got the mythic unit. Oh man. That's actually a novelty to me. That it doesn't depend exactly on the time when you advance. There is actually some kind of helping area. I don't know how to say it in English right now, right off the bat, but oh well, this is a surprise to me, a huge surprise. And of course it means that ReZero right now at the bottom seems to be fair, safe and fair. Oh, but this is really, wow. Somebody dodged a bullet in here. Like seriously, Burzum. The troll is of course going to help you quite significantly to defend against especially those dudes, those Prometheans. As of course troll does have bonus against mythical units. So yeah. Well, I just really can't get over the fact that this just happened. This is such a weird thing. It really seemed like that Burzum misplayed, but he got saved by some secret mechanisms of Age of Mythology. Well, how often does that happen? Not really often, but this time it worked into TM's favor, and we are going to be moving around as Valor has been engaged by Pedro, which means the red player, and that will mean some kind of fun on the left, but those guys, they are just scouting and hoping that they can find something to kill reasonably soon. And that something to kill will be ReZero's army. So, well, of course, those Turmas are going to be a whole lot more effective than just the oracles, so it seems like that he is quite basically biding his time, waiting for a better moment to pounce on his opponent, already winning by 40 points. Oh, already 60. 60 points on the score. That's actually quite a significant lead at this point. With yellow being right now ready to help his teammate on the right, who suffered the double deconstruction, and having already a relic in his power, which is for better favorite recall. Yeah, of course, those two little Prometheans are not going to be bothering for a purple or rather teal player anymore, but he is bothered by a full-on double. As basically, as you can see, Ex-Platinum from the minimap, he's sending everything into the middle, and yeah, just making sure that he is joined and helping his teammate Pain as much as possible, because this is so far quite nicely working for them, as there's not much of a help from Turlock to be had so far. He's had 2 town centers, but that's about it. That is about it so far. So of course, fully on aggressive mode from GDM's Gladiator Resdale Mythology, as we are expecting from the double Kronos Oranos lineup, just getting rid of the tower on the right so that they potentially don't suffer any kind of needless damage in case it was being researched, which it so far probably isn't all that much. Yeah, we don't see anything interesting, but they are definitely closing the noose around Burzum's throat, whereas on the left Pedro is doing what he can to basically fight a 1v1 versus ReZero. And looking at the armies, I'm favoriting slightly Pedro, but not by much. Especially since they are going to be falling back next to the military buildings of ReZero, it's going to be more or less equal, so neither is having a kind of significant advantage so far. Second TC being built by Ex-Platinum at the back of his base. If you have a look at the minimap, same is true for Pain. So those two are gonna go for a bit better economy themselves, whereas Green is still having pretty decent army with Burzum. Not bad himself, and he definitely has to be happy that he is facing Pain and Ex-Platinum basically at discrete times. And right now Turlock is helping him, at least with the heroes and the Centaur Polemarchs, getting rid of the army of proper player. Seems to be working quite alright. He just basically needs to get rid of the heroes, and otherwise going to be just an easy job for those half horsemen. The longhouse coming down with some extra fighting happening on the left right now between ReZero and Pedro. It's almost looking like that ReZero is actually having a bit more of a fight in here, or rather better chance in here. But of course he is being raided by Pedro, who spent a few turmas to go for the fun, and they will be quite potentially lucky at the bottom. Even though there is a manor, so the villagers won't die, they will be denied food gathering, and 3 villages at food right now, not doing anything. Yep, good news, especially looking at the amount of more mills that ReZero is attempting to put out. Pretty good fight so far for blue. Pretty good fight indeed. Watchtower coming for Pedro, so yeah, that's something. Yet again, researching it in the tower, this actually causes to fight. Well, it's kind of a psychological moment in here, because you are usually clicking it in the spot where it's needed. But it, of course, is not a good idea. Exactly like this, because it's under attack. It's going to be under threat of being destroyed sooner than the research comes up, and it of course slows you down, because you will need to click it in another tower, and that's another half minute, or how long does it research, something like that. It's a fairly fast upgrade. And that might be continuous, some more villages, some more units. Maybe in the end, even the whole game, if you misplay in some crucial moment like that. In the meantime, the right side is... oh, Burzum. Poor Burzum, having such a hard time. Yet another deconstruction on him. So temple down yet again. Not going for it, so they are basically stymied right now quite significantly, the Loki player. Having all kinds of problems actually replenishing his army, and since Trulok is not having anything all that much left, it seems like that he's going for a bit of raiding himself with the centaurs. Yes, he is. This is basically turning into full-on 2 versus 1, and if anybody is going to be advancing into maybe the heroic age, then might be basically it. But still, there's going to be a very hard time for Ex-Platinum with Pain to take this TC down, because of course they're not having all that many melee. Basically thanks to all the throwing axemen, the troll and such. And Town Center getting rid of these. And Town Center right now safe because of ceasefire. And it's for what reason? He was on top of the villages. Here as well. Well, this wasn't because of the TC at all. So what's the reason for that? Huh. That was definitely this fight. Not sure about the timing, but of course right now the super crucial town center is going to be coming into opponent's hands because of the ceasefire, but he should be probably sending at least one more citizen. Yeah, this guy should be also helping, because I'm not exactly thinking that this will be finished in 20 seconds. And I'm gonna have a quick look right now if things are going alright on the other channels in here. How's it looking with the other match? There should be... Let's see, they don't even have a game room yet. So let's just continue with the casting in here, as we are going to be moving back in here. So sorry for this bit of a pause. Definitely needed to look into things if they are working alright or not. Yeah, it's really confusing today, because we are having basically almost all the matches of both AOC League and AoT League between 17 GMT and 20 GMT, like literally all of them. That's like, wow, that's about 8 matches, 8-9 matches at once. So it's super difficult to get things actually going and coordinate everything at once, and on top of that stream the game myself in here. Alright, so the situation seems to be not really going anywhere, just where we left it. Still the same, as there's going to be... Oh, careful! Careful, some scream. Going to be some free damage. But what I don't like about the composition of his armies right now, that is very heavy on Turmas. And compared to Red, who is basically like half on half, it seems like, with Murmilos, he's gonna get killed. Rezero is gonna get heavily killed. Medium Murmilos against normals, it almost looks like. Yes, against normal Murmilos. That's another reason why he's gonna get killed. And that's of course a good reason for him to run, and he probably recognizes exactly that he needs to go away, as that's not a good spot for him. In the meantime, Trollk is at 3 TCs and already going for a bit of Radiant with Hoplites. Nice idea. Deleting TC from Pain, who is down to 2, which definitely might help his teammate Burzum, because it is also buying a lot of army from Ex-Platinum. And that's exactly what his skill teammate needs, because he is under heavy pressure under his home TC, and even though he does have some kind of army, he is really fighting a very tough fight himself. Not any kind of upgrades yet for either player. He's in a really pretty tough moment himself. With Pain just now being back at 3 TCs. We have Burzum unfortunately losing his hometown center, and since he doesn't have anything else, he's just now having army or other economy on the right, quite nicely hidden. Even has some kind of extra hippos for potentially food economy. But this is not looking well for him, And unfortunately, yet again, he is losing the town center. He did lose it on the Anatolia also. So it's almost seeming like the GDMs are on purpose actually ganging up on him and trying to make him hate this game as much as possible. All the reconstructions right now, yet again 0 TCs. It's not like you can really blame him. He was just heavily doubled, and it's not like he received any kind of significant help, so it has to be said. Given all the conditions he's under, he's actually not doing half bad. But unfortunately, that's not what's going to be enough in a team game, of course. In the meantime, though, Rizero is doing a pretty great job against Pedrut. A reason for that might be that he's at 3 TCs against 2, even though Pedrut is finishing with a third as well. So it's going to be pretty much equal. Heroic Age is 0, X-Platinum, True Lock, and Pedrut just now through Hyperion, of course, as he Kronos. So that's no Thea for you. No Thea for you, and extra upgrades. Fortified Town Center, very medium infantry. It's nice one. Huminoffer, Pedrut, Irrigation, Shaft Mine, Economy for True Lock. He's just continuing with the heavy booming. But he needs to be careful so that he's actually fast enough with this army as well, because last time around it didn't work out, and he already is going to be facing quite heavy army and heavy attack from X-Platinum, who is basically creeping through the middle, and quite significantly so. It's going to be second palace for him, besides the military barracks, and after he kills all the piggies and the lone hoplite, he's going to be quite intent on coming on the military barracks, or rather military academies, and then quite soon after into the town center, with the destroyers, of course. Hume, not any kind of armory upgrades yet. Same will be true for True Lock, right? Yes, will be waiting, for example, or rather, for sure, or for Chof Olympus yet again. And since this battle is most definitely gonna go into Platinum's favor, because he simply does have more units in here, we are going to be switching into the right, where yet again, Pain is basically right now, he is back at 4 TCs, he has retaken the one that he has lost. One in the middle that was taken down by the hoplites from True Lock and is camped in the opponent's base, and of course Burzum is going to be running out of steam. Not only because he's facing impossible odds, 0 versus 4 TCs, that's just impossible. He's of course also without the town center, which is a whole lot of supporting fire and super important in any kind of defense. So right now it's probably a double time for Burzum, because he's gonna lose everything right now. Just a few villages at the bottom. Those villages could be potentially safe, but not really sure for how long, as there is Underworld Passage going to the top from True Lock, but he is not in Mythic yet. He's going through the Hephaestus. Cavalry Carpenters, Bronze Shields for Rizero, Hyperion, Copper Shields, alright. And it's going to be just up to Hoplites apparently to get rid of the town center of Pain, and hoping that he can do something significant in there. Where is he actually coming from? Somewhere next to the town center, which is... Wow, what kind of placement is that? Especially looking at the purple player already fighting in there. Yeah, well, this is just going to be next in line. Underworld Passage is of course not going to survive, even though medium Myrmidons are already coming in. Town center down, Underworld Passage as well, and even though Trog is going to be establishing himself in here, maybe, just maybe, able to defend himself in there at the back, even though it seems like that actually Pain is not paying any attention to that at all. He's just not caring, because he has already taken TC from Burzum basically and put him out of the game more or less, even though he's definitely not giving up. Nice to see indeed. On engagement, the battle on the left is basically as equal as it can be, but probably right now, looking at all the upgrades, Pedrut is already at heavy Turmas with Copper Shields. His opponent just now getting heavy Turmas, and already on Bronze Shield isn't bad. How's it looking with the infantry? Medium Murmilos and heavy Murmilos. Actually very nicely played right now so far. It almost looks like that Pedrut should be winning the battle, but apparently not, as Rizero is well off at this point and seems to be really pushing forward Samus Scream. So very nicely played, but he needs to be really worried about the fact that True Lock, even though he has moved some villages to the top and is right now doing all he can to get rid of the town center and basically steal it for himself because of the villages in there, as Platinum is sending all the wrong units to deal with this. He is also having a huge army in the middle, getting rid of the front town center, and basically right now the DMs are wide open as a can of fishies, and of course that will go just one way. especially looking at this unfortunate raid route just through the middle of the battlefield right now. Yeah, I'm not sure why he's sending it to this town center actually. Should be definitely using this one, even though it's slightly shorter route. It's just safer. Bad route right now through Atlas and Implode to help him in the fight against Rizero, who is advancing or not. No, he isn't, so that's going to be power swing for him in the Ati fight, with X Platinum coming for Helios, Coinage for True Lock, for better trade caravans. And that's about it, as those guys are just having a fly day, and all those trees are fell down in unison. At the top, so far, True Lock seems to be doing a job getting rid of the town center, but unfortunately not having enough luck in here. That was a good ball, definitely, against the Heka Gigant, because the army from Platinum is just a bit too big. Just a bit too big, but might buy him some time, because of course it means that there is no army right now at the bottom through the vortex. And this should be a spot where True Lock should be simultaneously attacking from the bottom, which he isn't, and unfortunately he is going to be attacked by Pain, who is just moving across the board as a flood, and since he has dealt with Burzum, he is right now coming into True Lock as the next in line to be biting the dust and pushing the daisies as well. Copper and bronze, nice upgrades from the green. Going slightly more, but it doesn't seem like that they will be really minding all that much, as True Lock is just now resigning, as Pedroot exactly at the same time has taken the front DC from Rizero, and the Implode turned out to be exactly what Pedroot needed to breach through his opponent, and the GG is called, and that's the second game right now for the match between Gladiadores del Mythology. A Team Mystic finished. GDMs are winning 2-0. Nicely played, and really, they weren't afraid of the aggressive civilization combo of the double Chronos. On top of that, one Oranos, and it paid off. Especially poor Burzum. You just have to feel for him. That was such an impossible situation to be in. Too many deconstructs, a full-on double. Basically, very limited health for just a rather small time in there. But well, True Lock at least did try to take the attention away from the double on him to take down the town center, which he succeeded with, but wasn't able to follow through, as the game plan from them, or rather from then, it was a bit too strong from X Platinum. Let's check the post game. X Platinum, pocket player highest score, makes sense, but I like Samu Scream how he held on against Pedroot. Nice fight, and then Pain, of course. Yeah, that was nice aggressive play from him. Overall, nice team play from GDMs, basically as in the last game. Burzum actually having pretty nice stats. Military count 78, unit skill 97, but it will be mostly because of the fighting under the town center. That will help in that. X Platinum was in 0 buildings. One for Burzum, but yeah, he of course lost the whole army, or rather the whole base. Whole base, unfortunately for him. Here again, very nice boom for True Lock. But these games apparently needed something a bit different, so GG.